Hello there and welcome again to Gaz's Gaming Channel. Sorry I haven't had a video up in a couple of weeks, that's just me being very lazy. The last couple of days I've obviously had a bit of chance to play Battlefront, the new Star Wars game. Obviously it became available yesterday and I spent a couple of hours playing it. And I just wanted to make a video just what my thoughts were on this game, whether I'm going to buy it based on this beta or not. And basically there's a few things. I mean, I'll get through the obvious things first. You can see in the gameplay video, the graphics are very nice, very authentic. The sound is also, very spot on. The sound of the blasters and all that. It's all as you would expect, really. I'm not really blown away, to be honest with you, because it's pretty much exactly what I expected. And it's very good, so I don't have any problems with that. But there are a few things I do have some problems with, and obviously it's still a beta, so these things might change, and there may be other maps with, game modes which don't suffer from these problems. But I played both of the game modes in the beta. The one I'm going to mainly talk about is Warper Assault. The other one's kind of a sort of deathmatch affair where you've got to grab onto these drop pods. I didn't enjoy that, to be honest with you. I ended up playing on a 4v3 situation with but 4 people on the other team who had tons of upgrades and just battered the shit out of our team, basically, and it just wasn't a lot of fun because I could see all of our team were just very new to the beta. I'd only been playing it maybe a couple, I could tell, because they didn't have any upgrades, and neither did I. So that wasn't great, but I mean, I'm not going to blame the game for that. That's just one of those things. But on the Warper Assault, I've got a few things which sort of, stuck out for me as not great. I'm going to start with them. The first thing is obviously the spawning issue, or issues. You're probably going to hear this on a few different, videos about this game or comments on it. But yeah, the spawning, it doesn't seem to have much rhyme or reason to it. You can end up spawning right in front of the enemy and instantly they take you out straight away. Nothing you can do about it. You can't like select your own spawn location. The closest thing to that is that when you play the game, it'll partner you up with somebody and you can spawn on your partner, but there's no way to know whether they're in the middle of right in the middle of a firefight or what, or out of the action altogether. There's no way to know. So that's not great, and I've got to say it didn't really help me with the sort of it didn't really feel like it helped me with the flow of the battle, if you kind of get what I'm saying. Because you're spawning in these random locations, could be inside, could be outside, and you don't really know where the objectives are, and it's quite disorientating. Just could have been better. Seems like a simple thing to fix though. I didn't really like the upgrade system, I have to say. You can... Firstly, I felt a bit unbalanced because I was coming across people with like jetpacks and personal shields and like upgraded guns just killing me straight away, and just seemed to be very little I could do about it as somebody who only unlocked like thermal detonators. And I'm not sure I like the way that the upgrades that you pick on the battlefield work. When you pick up an upgrade, it sort of sets that to number 4, and you can press that and then you can get your rocket launcher or whatever it is out. And speaking of that, the way you also assign the upgrades is a bit weird. Like if you want to have like thermal detonators, you've got to put it in your hand with a card or something, and then basically if you put it in like slot 1, then you have to press number 1 and then it'll activate that thing. In this case, say it's the thermal detonator, so that basically means you've got number 1 is thrown grenades, which just seems weird to me. I mean, strange design decision, I thought. Like, so yeah, I wasn't overly impressed with the upgrade system. Seems like it just reminded me of obviously Battlefield, where if you're new to it, you're not going to enjoy it for the first few games. I mean, I think after this game comes out, I think you're gonna, if you buy this on a sale or whatever, you're not gonna have fun when you get into it, because people are going to be just hammering you, I would imagine. The next thing I'm going to get onto a little bit is flying. I did have a chance to fly an A-wing, TIE fighter, TIE interceptor, and I think that's it. I didn't get into a snow speeder, but it just wasn't. It was terrible, to be honest with you. I was playing with a mouse and keyboard. The turning's just horribly slow. It just seems to be impossible. I mean, you can right click to sort of lock onto them, but it just seemed horrible. I was wondering whether I should pick up my pad and try and use that, but it was I play a lot of PlanetSide, and compared to the flying in that, it was just awful. That's all I'm really going to say on the flying. It's terrible. The other things about the game I noticed, I mean, there was no destructibles as well in the scenery. I mean, the environment's so nice. It would have been really good if, and there's all these, you know, smashed up bits and pieces all over the map. It would have been nice, like, if you shot a TIE fighter down, if that wreckage, you know, stayed, or if they like had, you know, there's like bits of like equipment on the battlefield. If they could be blown up and smashed to bits, you know, that would be quite cool. You know, especially because you've got these massive walkers or missiles at times flying in. You know, it'd be nice to see some destructibles, which obviously, given that it's running on Frostbite and destructibles were in Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 2, Bad Company, it just seems like a bit of an omission. The other thing I didn't really like was the teamwork aspect, because there isn't any. Everybody seems to be a similar sort of class. You basically just, you're a trooper, or you can get in a vehicle, or you can get a hero, or something like that. But there's no like support roles. There's no, you know, you know, it'd be cool if you could have like, you know, I don't know. Like say you could fly the Y-wings, you could have like one guy doing the bombing, one guy flying the Y-wing, or something like that. I don't know, or like, you know, hover tanks or whatever, something like that. That might appear in other scenarios and other maps. I don't know, but there was very little teamwork. Nobody's speaking on voice, and it felt very Call of Duty-ish. I have to say. Yeah, the other thing that I want to comment on is the heroes. I'm not going to say they seem ridiculously overpowered, because obviously Luke Skywalker should be able to, you know, bash his way through a few stormtroopers and that. But if you come up against them one-on-one, yeah, you don't stand a chance. And I like at one point actually I spawned, and Darth Vader was right behind us. Boof, swung us with the sword. But I've not had a chance to play the heroes. I'm going to try and play it again, see if I can get a go as one of the heroes, just to see what that's like. That might be a fun element of the game, but it wasn't too fun to be on the receiving end, although I did find it quite cool when 3 people sort of lined up shooting at him and he's just using his lightsaber to deflect all the blaster bolts. That was very cool, I'd have to say that. I mean, there are definitely some cool moments in this game. I just have to wonder whether it's going to really have much longevity. Like, once you've seen all those cool moments, are you going to keep coming back for the gameplay? At the minute, I'm not sure. And one thing I will also say about the Walker Assault is that I didn't really like the mechanics of the actual scenario. Basically, the idea is that the rebels have to secure 2 uplinks by basically going up them and pressing E and holding on for a couple of seconds. This brings in the Y-wings, which will then hit the AT-ATs, and for a small amount of time you'll be able to damage the AT-ATs. There are 2 of them, and basically, obviously, while everybody's doing that, you know, the Imperials are just, you know, killing you, and it didn't really feel like it was. Yeah, it just didn't really. It just doesn't. I don't know. It just didn't really feel like it was accomplishing anything. Like, you know. I don't know, I just didn't really like it. It's hard to put my finger on exactly what it is, but it feels a bit unbalanced, I suppose. You know, it seems fairly easy for the Imperials to win in this particular scenario. That being said, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I do think it's good that, you know, it should be challenging, more challenging. Like, I don't mind a bit of asymmetrical gameplay. But I don't know, maybe it needs a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of balancing. So overall, would I recommend this game? Am I going to buy this game when it comes out? Well, to be honest, at the 50 quid price point, which is what it is on Origin here, although I have seen it for about 38 in CD Key, you know, online stores, it's a bit of a tough one. I'm really going to have to wait and see what the rest of the battles are like. Based on this scenario, the Walker Assault on Hoth, it's probably going to be a no for me, at least until it's at least half price. But I'm going to keep an open mind. You know, it's still in beta, there's still things that could change, and I'll be interested to see what the other scenarios and game modes are, and you know, what they're like. So at the moment, I would say be cautious on this game. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you like it, please hit that like button, it's much appreciated, and I will see you later.